was about to enjoy my Saturday, getting ready to watch a bit of football, thinking, no to worry about West Ham. Not going to be nothing really much going on with West Ham at the moment. In fact, I was actually planning to do a video. I was going to talk about Daniel Kretinsky. I will come back to doing that. But I was actually sort of thinking, God, there's not really too much to keep talking about, because we can't really keep talking about the protests and Graham Potter too much. So I was thinking, it's going to be pretty quiet, I think. And then obviously until Monday, until match day. And then all of a sudden, bang, we get the news. Graham Potter has been sacked by West Ham, and it has been confirmed. We've got it all confirmed this end. Obviously, it's out everywhere now anyway. Potter has been dismissed. Head of training this morning, he was informed that he'd be let go. And yeah, I'll come to that in a minute. Also, then the big news, of course, is that the NUNO Espirito Santo, of course, is now in line to take over. He will be confirmed today. They've got that confirmed by X. It could well be, by the time this video goes out, he's already been confirmed. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything, by the way, in terms of the length of the deal. I don't suspect it will be a short-term contract. My guess would be that he's going to have at least another season on top of what's left of this season. So that would be my guess, probably with an option of a third, something like that. I'm going to imagine. I can't imagine Nuno's going to come in on a short-term deal. We'll find out a little bit more as time goes on. As I say, because it's moving so fast, it could be that you're watching this thinking, hang on, that's already been confirmed. So if that is the case, I do apologise. Yeah, so Graham Potter, let's talk about him first. Of course, he did his press conference yesterday. He was asked quite a fair amount of questions about his time at West Ham and how difficult is he finding things and being under pressure and his job being on the line and all that sort of stuff. I actually felt he dealt with it quite well, that press conference, to be honest, because he can be prickly, Graham Potter, and he has shown that sometimes he's not very good. Sometimes when he's under pressure, he can bite. But I actually thought he did all right. He took things on the chin. He took the meme stuff on the chin, this stuff where his face is being superimposed on other images. I thought he took that quite well. So I'm quite surprised. I've got to be honest. I've always been told that Everton was the kind of the game. If he doesn't do well at Everton, he's like he'll go after that. So my mind was always that he'll probably be gone Tuesday if we don't win. That was my sort of gut feeling. Now West Ham typically work in a way, we've seen it so many times. The board, I mean, here, where they basically have their manager and they decide they don't want them, and they basically go away and work to go and get their replacement in. And until that deal's done, they won't sack the manager. Some people will say, well, okay, that's quite sensible, but it's also quite nasty, isn't it? I mean, really, you could have let Potter go sooner and then just put someone interim. Mark Robson would have taken charge, I'm sure, Kevin Keane, someone like that, Mark Noble. People could have stepped in just to take training for a few days while they were going to get a deal done. That's my feeling of it, because I do feel it's a little bit harsh on Potter doing the press conference for a game that you're not going to be in charge of. It's just typical West Ham, isn't it? How they operate and how they treat people. This is one of the reasons fans are exhausted with the ownership. You know what I mean? It's things like that. You think it just lacks class. So I've got to be honest. I feel for Potter in that regard. I don't think he's got too many complaints. I don't think you can have a win record of 24%, 6 wins in 27 games. I mean, it's not acceptable. It's not you can't go with that record and expect to keep your job. He must have known. I kind of got that feeling from that press conference, actually, when you watch him. It was like, because he seemed quite relaxed about it all. It was almost like he was resigned to it. I'm wondering if the back of his mind thought, I probably won't be here very long. I don't know if I'm going to get the Everton game. I don't know. We understand it. The players were pretty shocked when he informed them today that he would be leaving the football club. And Nuno's in. Nuno's taking training today. Nuno is at the club. He is going to be officially announced as West Ham manager, and he will be coming in and he'll be taking charge of our fixture against Everton on Monday night. Right, let's go on to Nuno. I mean, as I say, personally, I've got to say about Potter as well. I'm personally quite gutted about it. I really wanted him to work out. As much as I know that he has been frustrating, don't get me wrong, and he hasn't been good enough. He deserves to be sacked. I'm not saying that. But he don't come across like a bad guy, actually, Potter. He comes across pretty decent. And when he came in with his philosophy, the way he was talking about aligning the club and having such a close-knit relationship with the academy and all this kind of stuff, I felt that he said all the right things. It's just unfortunate. We just never saw anything positive on the pitch, did we? And then when we did, it was very much like a flash in the pan. We'd see a really good performance, a great result, and then it would just be followed up by a few games where it would be horrendous again and we were losing and just not picking up anything up. And then all of a sudden you have a really good performance. It never felt like there was any consistent rise or improvement. We go to Nottingham Forest and play outstanding, really. Got picked up a 3-0 win, fully deserved. And then what's happened since then? Just falling apart. Go to 3-0 to Spurs the following weekend. It's just things like that have just felt like a running theme under Potter. So yeah, I am gutted in that regard that it didn't work out for him, but I'm also relieved. I've got to be honest. It feels like it was always going to happen, and we need to kick on. We cannot afford to have another season down the bottom of the league where we're struggling to stay in the league. It just can't happen. We've got to pull away from it. So I'm quite pleased that the club have been decisive in terms of being a bit doing this earlier. I was worried that we were going to start heading towards closer to Christmas until they then start to make decisions on the manager. So I'm pleased something's happened here. And I do think as well that the pressure on the board from the fans, all these protests and everything else has probably added to that as well. Probably one of the factors as to why West Ham have decided to act and get this done sooner, obviously after just 5 Premier League games this season. Right, on to Nuno. I mean, probably not everyone's top choice. I think there's going to be a bit of a divide here on Nuno. I think there's the people that want to see West Ham playing expansive, exciting football and dominating possession and things like that. That's not going to be the case. I do not believe you're going to be getting that from Nuno. I think what you're going to be getting from Nuno is a similar kind of mindset as what we have with David Moyes. Now, I'm going to be honest. Although people say, "Oh, we don't want that again," and I understand that. I do get that. It depends who we're playing, isn't it? But at the same time, if West Ham can get to a state under Nuno where we're very hard to beat and we are a very good counter-attack footballing team, I think that can work for this season, certainly. We need to become tougher to beat. We're far, far too easy to score against. I mean, look at the goal difference this season is horrific. And, you considering the fact we've won a game 3-0 as well. I mean, I think we're -8. It's 5 games in. It's just absolutely shocking. -8 goals. It's just not good enough, So I think that's something that Nuno's going to have to sort out, and I think he will. So that gives me a bit of confidence. I feel like with Nuno, you're getting someone in that can organise this team and make us more difficult to beat and hopefully start picking up much needed points and climbing the table. I just want to give him a go. Do you know what I mean? I really do. My choice was always Marco Silva. I really wanted West Ham to go and push for that. I still felt that was an option that we could have really gone for if we'd have shown a bit more ambition, willing to spend a bit of money. By the way, not to say that he'd definitely want to come and want to leave Fulham. I just felt West Ham should have been pushing for that, but we didn't. We've gone for Nuno, and I really want to welcome him in and hope that he does well. I can see it's going to cause a bit of divide, but the last thing we need is that, you know what I mean, as a club now, that you think of the position we're in, we're after the ball as it is anyway. I think as a club now, as a fan base, it'd be nice to get behind the manager, get behind the team, and just because we need to start becoming more of an established looking Premier League side, because at the moment we're a basket case football club. We really are. The results have been horrendous for such a long time. You take into all of last season, we were horrendous. We started the season shambolic fashion. We've got to start becoming more settled. So I really do hope with someone like Nuno, who's proven that he can take teams that are struggling, not doing so well, and really kick them on. I mean, look how well we did at Wolves. Got them into Europe. I mean, that's a serious feat. And then what he's done as well at Nottingham Forest was outstanding. So I do hope that we're going to get that at West Ham. We're going to have someone to come in and deal with things, get us looking more organised, tighter, difficult at the back, and being more effective on the counter-attack. I think that's how we're going to start seeing under Nuno. I'll tell you, it would be bloody nice, wouldn't it, to actually see a manager that's going to bring in that bounce. You know what I mean? When do we ever get that? I don't think I've ever seen it at West Ham when we've got a new manager in and all of a sudden we just kick on and do so well. We never really experienced it. So hopefully this is going to be it. But there'll be more to come on this one. As I say, at the moment, this is where all I know, and it's going to be changing very, very quickly. It might well be able to do another little video later on. Potter out, gone, done. It's over. And it's time for Nuno for the hero of Nuno to start. So let's see how we get on with that. Anyway, have a good one. I'll catch you later. Come on your irons.